It's Despia. It's branded with a twist.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jakari from Twisted Nightmare Gaming, and I'm back at you with another deck profile. As you see, I am doing some form of a branded Despia deck profile, but you will come to learn very quickly, and I do mean very quickly, that it's not just a standard branded Despia deck. But enough with the talking. We'll go ahead and get started. One ad libitum. Is this motherfucker focusing properly? Alright, there we go. One Albion, the Shrouded Dragon. 3 Luber, the Boober of Duber. 1 Despia Tragedy. 2 Fallen of Alba-Lenatus. Realistically, I can put this back up to 3, but 2 has been actually working pretty well for me. Recycled 2 enough to at least 1 to where even if it gets banished, they end up going back anyway, so it doesn't matter. 3 Branded Fusion. 1 in red. Well, 1 in High Spirits. 1 in red. 1 lost. 3 opening. One reason why if it gets banished is a reason why I can get it back. 1 regained. And then 1 Despia Theater branded. And then finally, 1 banishment and 1 wretch. Pretty standard. There's really no explanation needed when it comes to branded ratios. There's a reason why I run this in here. There's a couple reasons. 1, I have a shit ton of dragons. 2, sorry for the shaky cam. It's starting to bug me a little bit. But tripod broke, so I'm kind of on monopod, and monopod's connected to my chair. So when I move the monopod, the entire thing shakes. I do apologize. And then for the other part of the deck, well, actually, I'll do the other engine first. Then we'll go to the final part of this deck. So, 1 Legionnaire, 2 Chaos Space. You'll see why that this is in this deck and can be used. I'll show you in a little bit. 1 Chain, 1 Patchwork, 1 Poly. Alright, so reasoning behind the smallest possible patchwork engine is, in all truth, the same reason why I don't run multiples of any of these. It's the same reason why this ends up hitting my grave before any of this. So it's literally, this ends up getting banished for some stupid reason, and then it goes back into the deck because of regain. So now this is live again. So this gets me this gets banished, this becomes live, and then I just research both of these. And then last 2 non-engine type cards is a Foolish and a Monster Reborn. So far you've only seen that I have 1 card in the entire main deck that can't be special summoned. Well, you're about to see the other reason behind the other side of this deck. The other reason why, because it's branded Blue Eyes. So, 1 alternative which is another target for Chaos Space, because it is a monster that can't be normal summon or set. Same thing with Legionnaire. 3 Blue Eyes, 1 Jet, 1 Spirit of White, and then 1 of each of the eggs. Don't need too many of the eggs, to be honest with you. You don't really need more than 1 of each. At most, I would go 2 of this, but this is really good at 1. You're going to end up banishing it more often than not anyways, so... And 9 times out of 10, if you're seeing a branded build, you probably aren't seeing any hand traps, and that kind of rings true in this deck. 2 Dragon Shrine. 2 Return. 3 Melody. 2 Trade-In. 1 Ultimate Fusion. Okay, so... Again, kind of like when I did the branded Dark Lord build. Most of your extra deck is dragons. I'd say about at least 60% of your extra deck is dragons. And speaking of which, I'll show that now because it only makes sense. It's like, what, 42 cards, 40 cards? I don't remember. 3 Albion, 1 Alternative Ultimate, 1 Twin Burst, 1 Tyrant. That's it for the Blue Eyes Fusions. Those 3. That's all I ever go into. And most of the time, I really only ever go into these 2. 1 Queritus, and then one of the main reveal targets for High Spirits Construct, because most of the non-dragon side of the deck is fairies, so it's kind of obvious. 1 Garua, 1 Chimera, 1 Drago, 1 Lubellion, 1 Masquerade, 2 Mirror Jade. No, I don't have the Starlights. Let's be real. Unless I pull it, I ain't buying it. So, somebody wants to gift me a Starlight Mirror Jade, cool. I'll run it until the wheels fall off. If somebody wants to trade me a Starlight Mirror Jade for Starlight Dart, cool. I'll take that trade any day of the week. I'll take it for 2 Grand Gunals. At this point, on 1 Grand Gunal, and I'd split you some cash. But I just really like playing the deck. It was fun. It's really fun to play. People don't see the Blue Eyes line coming. They really don't. Until I go branded fusions in Albaz and the egg, summoning Albion, and then chaining the egg with the Albion, getting the Blue Eyes to hand, then banishing something, Albaz and something else, going into Lubellion, and then continuing plays that way. Or I could just really shuffle. I could really, if I don't go into Lubellion, I can go into Tyrant, but I kind of want to banish stuff first, then shuffle it back to get the Tyrant on field. I made the deck so it could go first or second. I don't play any go second blowouts. This deck doesn't really play defense. But when has Blue Eyes really ever played defense? You notice I don't play Tyrant of D. I didn't want to. That's why I don't play Sage. I don't want to search egg. I don't want to search either one of the 2 eggs. I want them in the graveyard to be used for branded fusion later, or for a fusion effect later. So that's really the long and short of that. I will, you know what? Let me get set up real quick. I'm gonna come right back and I will actually do a tutorial. Alright, magical editing. I go ahead and get started with the combo tutorial. Alright, so I lied, the deck was 47 cards. You want an easy way to get it down to 41? Take out the small patchwork engine, and take out the chaos space engine. Because again, the chaos space is literally just in there to, if you banish and you don't have regain, add back something that you banished that you can't be normal or set, which is literally just the alternative and the Legionnaire. And if I'm not mistaken, and in all truth, if you do it, if you don't do that and just leave that part, it's 44. And I don't see anywhere on Chaos Space. I'm gonna check into it. You can put it in the comments if I'm wrong, but you could realistically Chaos Space a branded one of your banished fusions, Light or Dark fusions, and then add back the other one. You can banish it from the grave to add one of your put one of the banished targets back to the bottom of the deck. Actually, no. Then actually, your only 2 targets really are Alternative and Legionnaire. So yeah. So yeah, just correcting myself there. I'm sorry about that. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. Luber, White, Trade In, Trage, Branded Fusion. Alright. So I'll show you a way to get basically both sides of the field out and in the grave at the same time. I'm just gonna go ahead and go Trade In now. Get the Spirit of White in the grave. That's the hand now currently. So let's actually, so Luber to add Lost. Actually, no. Let's Luber to add Regained. I ain't gonna lie, I don't tend to go for Lost as much as I used to. It's just based on what I'm playing. I'll either go for Lost or I'll go for Regained. So we'll activate Regained. Activate Branded Fusion. And this is where we'll go Albaz and Stone. Go for Albion. Albion Chain Link 2. Well, Egg Chain Link 1, Albion Chain Link 2. So, Albion, let's banish the Trage from hand and the Albaz. You know, the standard play of Albaz for right now, because I don't run Cartesia, so I don't run Mercurier in here, so I don't have access to Grand Ganol and Renbrim, so this is gonna trigger Tragedy in a separate chain. This would be Tragedy being triggered, Regain being triggered, so, and Lubellion being triggered. But I'll get there in just a second. Let me resolve this and get the blue eyes to my hand. So, regain chain link 1, Albion chain link 2, Traj chain link 3. But I do have to discard for Albion. So with the tragedy, I will add. That's the amounts, right? Yeah. I'll add ad-lib. So for the Albion fusion, we will do. I will discarded that, so that's going to be in another chain. Let's do the blue eyes in hand and the Albion to go in the tyrant. And then regain is going to put back the Albaz that's banished to the bottom to draw one. That's funny. Alright, so with 2/3 of your patchwork engine completely dead, because now the poly's in hand because you opened it, and this was an engrave because you opened it. You can resolve it just to get it, but it's going to end up realistically being discard fodder for later, until you shuffle back the patchworks is basically going to be discard fodder. So you could honestly either end your turn here, but if you really want to keep pushing, you can keep pushing. Be funny if you actually would have went second with this hand. That actually would have been really fun, even funnier. Let's see. What else here? I was not expecting this. This was an interesting hand, to say the least. Screw it. That's foolish. White Stone of Ancients. Just to get it out your hand. Poly for Masquerade or Queritus at this point. So I'll just go Masquerade. Alright, so I will off of the at this point I'm not gonna activate the ad libitum effect, because the only target in my grave. Actually, no. I will, at that point, just special the trash. I don't want to do the Aluber. I kind of just want the Aluber to sit there. So you still have the patchwork in hand. Whatever. So that's really it for your turn. during end phase. Special a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, so why not just special a Blue Eyes? It doesn't matter if it's an attack and defense, to be honest with you. It really doesn't. I didn't want to go for Jet because I'd rather have Jet in the grave at some point. But that's just a standard board for this deck. You do a lot of the Albaz stuff, the Despia, the branded Despia Albaz stuff. And then you end up floating at some point, usually off of the Lubellion play, into the Blue Eyes play. So I'll do one more hand just to go through it one more time. Let's see if there's any, if anything different plays out. Ultimate Fusion, Melody, Chaos Base, Trade In. Alright, so let's be real. This hand you would classify as a 100% brick. But the part that makes it funny, it is not actually a full-fledged brick. It's going to be a very neutered ass hand, but it's still relatively playable. So we'll go Patchwork first. Add the Poly and the Egypt chain. And we will go I can either go Trade In or Melody. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's go Chaos Base first. Let's pitch the chain, which now that's completely null and void. I will add alternative to hand. I guess. Yeah, I'll add alternative to hand. Melody, pitching, Poly to add the two of the targets in my deck. So we'll add Levy and Blue Eyes. Reveal the Blue Eyes. Special the alternative. Trade In. Okay, that's kind of funny. So when relegated to mostly Blue Eyes plays, is again, you start playing a lot of Blue Eyes. So. And that's still the hand. Like I said, this hand, that's one of those rare cases where you draw 5 cards that don't do the greatest together, but it's something. So realistically at this point, I will Return of the Dragon Lords. Blue Eyes. And then Ultimate Fusion for Twin Burst. Actually, you can hold, set the Twin Burst, set the Wretch, and then hold that in hand. Again, that wasn't the best hand in the world. You could do it to where you're not gonna necessarily die unless you're playing, you know. Cash Tier will, Bestials will eat this deck alive because everything in this deck is dark and light. That's 100% true. But you can protect the dragon once. And then if they both end up dying, you realistically and then actually by setting this the Ultimate Fusion, it becomes an interruption. So before these get, before they go into battle, you go Ultimate Fusion, shuffle these back in, go into Twin Burst or in the Tyrant, pop pop cards on their field. So that would be the best case scenario, and you still have your protection from. So yeah, you can either go into Twin Burst or Tyrant. So, all right, I'll do one more. I wasn't expecting to be doing an all blue eye side of that deck. That was actually kind of rough. Not gonna lie. Alright, so we have Branded Fusion, Branded in red, Aluber, Albaz, Tragedy. Huh. I can't complain about that hand. I'll do this one if I'm going second. Chaos Space. That's funny. Alright, so let's actually normal the Aluber. Aluber this time. Yeah, we'll get the Regain again. Notice I don't actually. I'm gonna just try something different real quick. Aluber's going to get Branded Opening. You can go Opening High Spirits. It doesn't matter in this regard. But I wanted to try something different. I wanted to do a different line real quick, since we already opened the the Branded Fusion and the Branded in red. So let's go Branded Opening, Trage. Yeah. We'll go Trage. Let's go Adlib. Just go ahead and get it out the deck. Oh, for opening, we'll do Adlib. Trage will get the bad part about it is your only other viable target is another looper with trash. Actually, we're not going to do trash. No trash effect. No trash effect simply because we're going to do it for the banish effect later. So, yeah, we'll do that. So I can do one or two things with this. I can go into Chimera right now. Or I can go into Chimera later. Alright, so let's go Chaos Base. Let's actually send the Albash to the grave. Add Legionnaire. I mean, we don't have to activate the Trage right now either, because it's likely going to get banished in a minute. Just being honest. Brain Infusion. Send the second Albaz and an egg. So this is where we start doing the going through the Blue Eyes line again. So that will go Albion. Chain 2, egg 1. Albion will banish Albaz and a Luber for Lubellion. Add the Blue Eyes off the egg. Lubellion effect. Shuffle back the banished Albaz. And oh wait, I was supposed to discard. Did not discard, so actually yeah, discard. So shuffle the Albaz back and the Blue Eyes for Tyrant. You see, I tend to go for Tyrant a lot. And in this instance, I can go one of two ways. This is where I have to think about this one. Let's screw it. Yeah, let's go for that. We're trying to go for it all. So let's add the Albaz back. These three for Chimera. Chimera 1. Ad-lib 2. So, special back Albion. Welcome back, buddy. So, draw 2, pop 1. Oh, well, that would have came in handy about a half a turn ago. But, so now you have the Chimera at 33, Albion at 25, but you have Tyrant who can swing at monsters, swing at basically each monster on the field, especially if they're weaker. That can help clear the board really quickly. And then the only one who can't attack directly is Chimera. So in essence, I would swing once with Chimera just to clear one monster, Tyrant for the rest, and then push with these two because now this was summoned off of ad-lib, so it can attack now. You still have the levy, and then you can banish in main phase 2. If you didn't kill your opponent, you could banish to either reset the in red, the branded fusion, or the opening. But you probably keep the opening in because it'll protect these two from, or these three from a destruction one time. Well, one of them from destruction. And then, so I would either reset the in red. Actually, no. I'd reset the branded fusion. But Regain's gonna trigger off of the banishing of Tragedy, and you're gonna get Albion, which that's even funnier. So Albion effect, send Wretch. Put Albion to the shuffle. Put Albion to the bottom, and then draw one. So you have the Branded Fusion set. These three are currently in hand, and in all truth, you could either end it there, or you could. Okay, that's actually funny. I just thought about that. So if you don't go for the Branded Fusion and you go back and reset the Branded in red with Trage, and not knowing that you got Foolish Burial, Foolish send Trage again. Alright. Still only 2 engrave. You could Wretch for the Branded Fusion now. So now you have in red and Branded Fusion. If you haven't killed your opponent at this point with this board, that's what you're still doing. And just remember, any one of these three engrave can be returned because they're all level 8 dragons. So but folks, I know I went like 30 plus again, almost 40, much like I did with the combo tutorial for Dogmatica and that deck profile. But this has been your boy Jakari from Twisted Nightmare Gaming. Signing off. Let me know what you think. As always, if you have any questions, just put it down. If you have any comments, criticisms, whatever, just put them in the bottom. I'll read them and I'll respond accordingly. But I will catch you guys on the next one. Later, folks.